Captain Eli Mercer stood at the edge of the alien garden, trying not to sweat through his dress uniform. The peace summit had gone well, too well. After centuries of conflict, betrayal, and silence, the galaxy had finally allowed humans a seat at the table. And now, humans were being invited to dance. The Arvani Empire was old. Their technology grew like plants and their ships sang when they moved. Their people were tall, graceful, and had shimmering skin that reflected light like water. Their voices were like music, and their princess, Talari, was unlike anyone Eli had ever seen. She was the daughter of the High Empress. 6 eyes, all glowing with shades of blue and gold. Her movements were calm, like a windless river. She wore a dress that looked alive, flowing with soft pulses of color. But what stood out most was the way she watched him. Curious, amused, like she was waiting for something to happen. "Captain Mercer," she said, stepping forward, her voice smooth like silk. "Do your people dance during peace ceremonies?" Eli blinked. "Sometimes. On Earth we dance to celebrate, mourn, flirt, or just because we're bored." She tilted her head, her 6 eyes blinking at different times. "Interesting. The Arvani do not dance for boredom, but we do dance to study movement and memory." She reached out her hand. It had long, slender fingers with tiny silver patterns that glowed faintly. "Would you show me a human dance?" Eli hesitated for just a second, then took her hand. It was warm. The music was strange. Alien instruments humming and pulsing like heartbeats. But Eli knew how to lead. He placed one hand gently on her waist, and with slow steps they moved through the glowing garden. It was awkward at first. She moved differently, her center of gravity not quite like a human's. But after a few seconds they fell into rhythm. The guards nearby watched in silence. So did members of both delegations. Nobody spoke. No one interrupted. In that moment, something changed. Talari's eyes locked onto his. A flicker of light passed between them. Not magic, not psionics, just understanding, connection. Eli smiled. "Not bad for a first try," she responded with a soft laugh. "Your steps are clumsy, but they have charm." He raised an eyebrow. "That's the nicest insult I've ever heard." They danced until the song ended, and then another, and then another. Each time she stayed close. Her eyes studied his face, his posture, his heartbeat. Later, as the party slowed and the guests began to leave, Talari pulled him aside under a glowing tree with roots that hovered in the air. "I have studied 12 human languages," she said, "but yours is the one I prefer." "English?" "No." Sarcasm. Eli chuckled. "Ah, humanity's finest, art." "I find it playful," she continued. "Unpredictable. Like wind on still water." He looked at her more closely. "You've studied us more than you let on." "Yes," she admitted. "We feared humans once. But now we are curious. You build machines for war, then use the same machines to explore the stars. You burn your world, then try to heal it. You destroy, then create. You fight, then love. That's just being human. And it's beautiful." They stood there for a moment in silence. The stars above twinkled through the transparent dome of the alien ship. Earth's moon was visible in the distance, small but proud. Talari took a small step closer. "Tell me, Captain Mercer, are all human males so brave or just foolish?" "Usually both," he said. "But I prefer the term romantic." She laughed again, softer this time. That night, Eli returned to his quarters unable to sleep. He sat at his desk staring at a small box tucked inside his drawer. Inside it was a ring, simple but rare. Platinum forged from a collapsed neutron star and inlaid with moonstone from Earth's first landing site. He had carried it since the HFY mission began, just in case. It was tradition, of course. Earth customs. Silly to others. But it meant something. And now, he didn't know what to do. Talari wasn't human, She wasn't even remotely human. But when he was near her, the galaxy didn't feel so cold. Over the next few months, the connection between them grew. Their communications became personal. They laughed often, sometimes even shared dreams through a new Arvani human neural link system. She sent him music. He sent her old Earth poems. She asked questions about human food, history, and why humans cried when they were happy. Eli answered them all, honestly, sometimes nervously. Then one day she asked, "What does it mean when a human kneels before another?" Eli paused. "It depends," he said. "Sometimes it means surrender. Sometimes it means love." She said nothing, but her eyes glowed brighter than usual. On the day of their next meeting, the human embassy held a formal banquet aboard the floating station near Europa. Dignitaries from over 70 species arrived. But Eli only cared about one guest. Thalari entered the room like moonlight walking. He didn't wait. As the music started and the other guests raised glasses, Eli Mercer took a deep breath, walked to the center of the room, and knelt. All noise stopped. Every eye turned to him. And to her. Thalari stared at him, her 6 eyes wide, her hands twitching with surprise. And then she giggled, not a mocking laugh, a joyful one. Light, musical, like wind chimes in a breeze. The galaxy's most powerful alien princess, giggling like a human girl on her first date. Captain Eli Mercer's knees still ached from kneeling, but he didn't move. He stayed down, holding out the small glowing ring toward the alien princess. All eyes in the hall stared. Humans, Arvani, other species. No one spoke, not even the musicians. Then came the sound again. Thalari giggled. It was soft at first, then grew louder. Her laugh echoed through the crystal hall. The sound was strange to Arvani ears. No royal had ever laughed like that, in public. Guards shifted uncomfortably. Eli looked up. Was it, the wrong gesture? Thalari smiled with all 6 eyes. No, just unexpected. She stepped closer and lowered her voice. "Captain Mercer, do you understand what you just did?" "I proposed," Eli said. "It's a human tradition, a way to ask for union, marriage." "You proposed to a member of the Arvani royal line," she said quietly. "Not just any princess, me." "I know. That breaks more than 50 laws and 20 peace protocols. I still know." She looked down at him. Then suddenly her smile faded. She looked at the guards. They were not just watching, they were waiting. Then she leaned forward and whispered, "If you really want to love me, you must run. Now." "What?" "Run, Captain. This was a breach of Arvani protocol. They will not let you walk away." Eli stood up slowly. "Will you come with me?" "I already have." The escape started with chaos. Thalari pressed a small crystal on her wrist. A pulse of light flew across the room. Her personal guards froze, stunned by the signal. Eli grabbed her hand. "This way." They ran through the shining halls of the embassy. Behind them, alarms began to sound. Eli's AI assistant, Mira, buzzed in his ear. "You have exactly 6 minutes before security lockdown. I hope you have a good plan." "Kind of making it up as I go," Eli shouted, dragging Thalari toward a docking bay. Mira sighed. Classic human. They reached the emergency shuttle hangar. One small Arvani courier ship sat unguarded. "Can you fly that thing?" Eli asked. Thalari's fingers moved across the interface. "I grew up on one." The ship hummed to life and lifted off. As it shot into space, Arvani royal ships began pursuit. Inside the ship, Eli caught his breath. "Okay. I just proposed to an alien princess, and now we're on the run from her empire." Thalari nodded. "A typical human romance story, yes?" He laughed despite the danger. Then he looked at her seriously. "Why did you say yes?" "I didn't say yes," she replied. Eli blinked. "I said to run." She looked out the window, watching the stars rush by. "But I did not say no either." He smiled slowly. I'll take that as a maybe. She turned to him, her voice softer. Do you want to know the truth? Why they chased us? Yes. My DNA, she said. It's more than royal. Blood. I am what the Arvani call a gene key. A what? A genetic key. My body carries a living code, used to activate ancient systems, command ships, and access hidden powers of the Empire. If I choose a mate, my genetic code combines with theirs. That fusion will trigger an automatic alliance. Eli's eyes widened. So if you marry a human, the Arvani and humans become one political power? Yes, instantly. Then that means they're not chasing me because I love you. They're chasing me because if we marry, they lose control. She finished. Silence filled the ship. Then Eli said, I didn't propose to start a political revolution. She smiled again. And I didn't plan to fall in love with a warm-blooded space monkey. He laughed. Fair. Mira's voice buzzed again. Eli, we have 3 Arvani interceptors on our tail. One of them is a warship. Eli sat in the co-pilot seat. Can this ship fight? Thalari shook her head. It can hide. She pressed a few buttons, and the ship slipped into an asteroid belt. Bright blue stones spun around them, hiding their trail. The warship passed overhead without noticing. Inside the quiet, Eli leaned back. I'm sorry for getting you into this. Thalari looked at him. I'm not sorry. You are reckless, yes. But also... true. True? Many say words, few mean them. You knelt, you meant it. He nodded. Yeah, I did. For the next few days, they stayed hidden inside a hollowed asteroid. Mira scrambled communications and made sure their signal was untraceable. Thalari and Eli talked often. They shared stories of their worlds. He told her about growing up near Earth's broken oceans. She told him about Arvani moons where rivers flowed upward and plants could sing. They laughed. They argued. Once they even danced again, in zero gravity, spinning through the air like stars. But the danger never left. One day, Mira came with news. They've put a bounty on you, Eli. Both of you. The Council has labeled your proposal a Galactic Destabilization Act. You're now official fugitives. Eli shrugged. Cool. First time I've ever been called romantic and dangerous. Thalari placed her hand on his. Then we must decide what to do next. He looked at her. What do you want to do? She said nothing for a moment. Then she smiled. Let's get married. The small Arvani ship floated quietly inside, the hollow asteroid. It was dark and cold, but Captain Eli Mercer didn't care. He was looking at Thalari, the alien princess who had just said the impossible. Let's get married. He stared at her, confused. You mean it? Thalari nodded slowly. Yes. You knelt before me. You offered your trust, your future, and your heart. I offer mine in return. Eli smiled, but then his smile faded. They'll come after us harder. Both our governments. I know. They'll call us traitors. I don't care. Eli paused. And this isn't just about love, is it? No, she admitted. It's also about power. If we marry, my gene code will link to yours. That means Earth and the Arvani Empire will be joined. The Council fears it. But maybe the galaxy needs it. Eli leaned back, thinking. So we're not just lovers. We're a threat. Exactly. He laughed softly. Romantic. They began planning. Mira, Eli's AI assistant, handled most of the technical work. You'll need a place to hold the wedding, she said. Somewhere neutral. Somewhere the Council won't dare send a fleet. What about the Io border station? Eli asked. It's outside both our territories. Independent but friendly. Thalari nodded. Yes. And there's an ancient Arvani monk living there. He still performs traditional unions. Mira added. And we'll need allies, a small fleet to protect the ceremony. I might know some people, Eli said with a grin. Not all my friends are politicians. He opened a secure channel and sent a message. Getting married, need backup. Bring ships, bring wine, don't ask. Within 2 days, ships began to arrive. Old war buddies, pirate captains Eli once arrested, a scientist he had saved from a space worm, even a merchant queen from Vega who owed him a favor. They all came, not just for the romance, but for what the marriage meant. Change, hope, a new future for the galaxy. Talari watched the fleet arrive, amazed. You humans are strange, she said. You inspire loyalty in the most unlikely people. Eli shrugged. It's the charm and the chaos. When the wedding day came, the Io station was surrounded by a ragtag fleet. Arvani, ships, human cruisers, pirate freighters, even AI-controlled temple ships. All stood watch. Inside the station, in a chamber lit by soft gold light, Eli stood in a black formal suit with the same ring he'd once held out. His hands were shaking. Breathe, Captain, Mira said. You faced battle droids. You can handle a wedding. That was easier, he muttered. Then the doors opened. Talari entered slowly, wearing a dress made of light and crystal. Her skin shimmered, and her 6 eyes glowed with soft joy. Everyone stood in silence. The old monk stepped forward. He had long white robes and 3 floating eyes. Is this union of peace and heart, he asked. Talari answered first. Yes, I choose him. Then Eli. Yes, I choose her. The monk raised his hands. Then let this be known. The union is sealed. As soon as he said those words, a strange pulse filled the room. Blue light shot out from Talari's body. It flowed through the air, touched Eli, then spread to every corner of the station. Ships in orbit received the pulse too. Data, genetic signal, code, and then confirmation, gene link established, political fusion active, human Arvani alliance initiated. The galaxy changed in that moment, and then all hell broke loose. An explosion shook the outer hull. Mira shouted, Enemy ships just jumped in. Arvani war fleet. 30 vessels. Their Grand Admiral is with them. Eli turned to Talari. They came to stop the wedding. They're too late, she said. We're already joined. Mira's voice grew urgent. They're targeting the station. You have 10 minutes. Eli ran to the command room. Get everyone to their ships. Defend the station until the Union is legally recognized by galactic law. Talari joined him. We'll fight together. He looked at her. You sure? She grabbed his hand. I'm your wife now. That means I fight beside you. He smiled. Good. Let's show them what love looks like when it's angry. Outside, the fleet formed a defensive wall. The pirate ships took the front. AI vessels created a shield ring. Human and Arvani allies moved together for the first time side by side. The enemy fleet opened fire. Blue beams, plasma bolts, and EMP storms crashed against the station's defense line, but the Allied fleet held. Mira Direct. The galaxy now knew. Eli Mercer, a human captain, and Talari, the Arvani princess, were married. Their gene link created the first official human-Arvani alliance. The stars buzzed with news, hope, fear, and anger. Not everyone was happy. Some called them heroes. Others called them traitors, and some wanted them dead. The wedding was over, but the danger was not. The Io station, still floating in deep space, was no longer safe. Mira, Eli's AI, appeared as a small hologram on the table. I've scanned recent transmissions. A bounty has been placed on both of you by multiple governments. How much? Eli asked. Enough to turn friends into hunters. Talari sat quietly. Even my own family wants us stopped. They'll try everything, Mira said. Sabotage, assassins, lies. Eli leaned back, sighing. Married life's off to a fun start. Talari smiled sadly. At least we're together. That night, they left the station under stealth cloak. Eli piloted an old freighter. Thalari sat beside him. "Where to?" he asked. "There's a hidden world," she said. "It's called Sarion 5, a place where old Arvani mystics once lived. It may hold secrets to protect us." "Sounds like a honeymoon with lasers," Eli joked. "Exactly." They traveled for 3 days through quiet space. The ship was slow, but the stealth shield kept them hidden. Each night, Eli and Thalari sat under the stars, talking. She told stories of Arvani history, of queens who ruled with wisdom and warriors who tamed suns. He told her about Earth storms, games played in zero-grav schools, and music that made no sense but felt right. They laughed, they teased. Sometimes they fought, but they always made up before sleep. And sometimes, in the quiet dark, they held hands and said nothing at all, just hearts beating. But on the 4th day, peace ended. Mira woke them with a warning. "Enemy ship approaching. No ID code. It's fast." Eli jumped to the controls. "Pirates?" "No," Mira said. "It's a bounty hunter." Thalari looked through the scanner. "He's not alone. 2 more ships are coming in from the flanks." "They're trying to trap us," Eli growled. Mira's voice turned sharp. "We can't outrun them. This ship isn't made for battle." Eli's fingers moved fast. "Then we don't run, we trick them." He flew straight toward an asteroid belt. The bounty hunters followed. Inside the belt it was chaos, rocks spinning, crashing, glowing, from solar radiation. Eli used the terrain like a master. He ducked under one rock, skimmed over another, and even hid behind a spinning crystal moon. 1 ship crashed. The 2nd got lost. The 3rd stayed close. "He's good," Thalari said. Eli grinned. "But not as good as us." He flipped the ship upside down, flew straight into a narrow canyon between asteroids, and released a burst of magnetic mines. Boom! The 3rd ship exploded in a wave of purple fire. They escaped. But the message was clear. More were coming. Mira patched into the galaxy's newsfeed. A famous Arvani noble appeared on screen. Thalari's own cousin, Lord Serex. "I demand justice," he said. "Thalari has been brainwashed by human trickery. Her marriage is false. She must be returned for correction." "Correction?" Eli asked. Thalari's face turned hard. "That means mind-wiping. They want to erase me." "No way," Eli said. "They'll have to get through me first." They finally reached Sarion 5. It was a strange world. The right sky was dark pink. Trees floated, glowing. Rivers hummed as they flowed uphill. They landed near an old temple, built into a mountain. Strange symbols covered the walls. Inside, they found a hologram guardian. It looked like a glowing Arvani elder. "Princess Thalari," it said. "Welcome home." "You knew I'd come?" she asked. "Yes. Your blood unlocks this place, and the one you chose is the key." Eli raised a brow. "Me?" The hologram nodded. "Together, your bond activates an ancient defense system, the core circle, a shield stronger than any weapon." They walked into the temple's heart, a round room filled with crystals. At the center, a small platform waited. "Place your hands together," the guardian said. They did. A pulse of light filled the room. The crystals lit up. The ground shook. Above them, a glowing map appeared, galactic systems, alliances, data, flowing like water. Mira gasped. "This is not just a shield, it's a command node. You two now have access to a lost Arvani command system, enough to control fleets and or protect an entire planet." Thalari stepped back. "No wonder they fear us." Eli said, "But we're not using it for war." "No," she agreed. "Only for peace." But even as they activated the temples, secret ships were arriving in orbit. Lord Serex had tracked them. His fleet surrounded the planet. He broadcast a message. "Surrender, Thalari. Come home or I'll burn this world." Thalari looked at Eli. He took her hand. "We don't run anymore." "No," she said. "We lead." She turned to the temple core. Activate the circle shield. A wave of energy shot into the sky. A golden dome formed around the planet. Serex's ships fired. The blasts hit the shield and bounced off. Eli grinned. You just made us the most annoying couple in the galaxy. Thalari smiled. Good. Later, as they watched the stars from the mountain temple, Thalari leaned against Eli. They'll never stop coming, she said. Then we'll never stop fighting, he replied. But not with guns, with ideas, with unity. Eli nodded. You and me, fugitive hearts, married rebels, galaxy's loudest love story. She laughed. Perfect title for our future book. He kissed her forehead. Let them chase. We'll stay one step ahead. For 7 days, Lord Serex's ships circled the planet like hungry sharks. They tried to break through. They fired plasma cannons. They launched drones. Nothing worked. Inside the shield, Thalari and Eli stood on the mountain temple, watching. They don't give up, Eli said. Neither do we, Thalari replied. Mira appeared in the air beside them, glowing blue. I intercepted a message. Lord, Serex is sending a stealth team down to the planet. Eli narrowed his eyes. Sabotage. They'll try to break the shield core from inside, Mira said. They're already here. Let them come, Thalari said. We have a surprise waiting. In the temple chamber, the crystal heart hummed. The shield's power came from it, and from Thalari and Eli's bond. Only our connection can keep it running, the guardian said. If either of you is hurt or broken in spirit, the shield will fade. Then we protect each other, Eli said. He grabbed a blaster. Thalari summoned her energy staff. They walked side by side deeper into the temple halls. The invaders came at night. They wore black armor and moved without sound. Arvani assassins, trained to kill without leaving a mark. But Eli and Thalari were ready. In the dark halls, Eli used traps, nets made of light electric floors, pressure bombs. One by one, the assassins fell. Thalari moved like a flash of silver. Her staff spun, cracked, and blasted with energy. She fought not with anger, but with love. For every step they took, she held the memory of Eli's proposal in her heart, his shaking hand, his soft voice, her giggle, their future. They reached the last chamber. One assassin remained. He was tall, fast, and cruel. His blade glowed red. He ran at Thalari. She blocked. He kicked Eli. Eli rolled, bleeding, but stood back up. Together, he shouted. They attacked in harmony, staff and blaster, left and right, Arvani strength, and human instinct. Finally, the assassin fell. Silence returned. Mira patched into their earcoms. Lord Serex has seen enough. His fleet is retreating. Coward, Eli muttered. No, Thalari said. He realized something. What's that? That he already lost. A week passed. No more attacks came. The galaxy watched and waited. People everywhere began to speak, to hope, to question. A human had married an Arvani. 2 enemies had become one. Was peace possible? Could war really end? Then a message arrived. From Earth. From the Arvani High Council. From neutral planets. It was short. We request a meeting. Thalari stood in silence, holding the message. They want to talk? Eli asked. She nodded. They want a summit. Here? Yes, on Sarion 5 in the temple. Eli smiled slowly. Then let's host history. Ships came, big ones, small ones, strange ones. Ambassadors in bright clothes, generals with hard eyes, scientists, traders, priests. They gathered in the temple's crystal chamber. It glowed with blue and gold light. Eli and Thalari stood at the center. You were our enemy, one human general said. Now you wear a crown? I wear no crown, Thalari replied. Only a promise. And you? An Arvani elder asked Eli. What gives you the right to speak? He stepped forward. Nothing, except I love someone who sees more than war. The chamber fell silent. Then, slowly, one by one, heads nodded. Over 3 days they made agreements, trade paths, peace zones, language lessons, shared technology, and one rule written in crystal: no life shall be lesser because of where it was born. The final moment came. A child walked into the room, a human Arvani hybrid. She had 2 eyes and 4 small glowing dots on her forehead. She looked at Eli and Thalari. Are you the ones who made peace? She asked. Thalari knelt. We tried. Why? Because we were tired of running, and we believed love could build something better. The child smiled. Can I build too? Eli knelt beside her. You already are,